Hi, I'm Kev and I'm the archaeologist that's supervising In Search of Raikeswood Camp. And this is a 4 or 5 day excavation to investigate a Great War camp on the outskirts of Skipton. The camp's now basically gone for obvious reasons. It was over 100 years ago that this large military camp was built, first of all for army personnel to be trained in, and then towards the end of the Great War, that's by 1918, it was used as a prisoner of war camp, mainly for German prisoners of war who were brought over from a site near Massam in Colsterdale and brought here by train, dropped off, marched up the high street, and this is where they spent the next 2 or 3 years. The camp was quite massive. It could hold up to 1,200 men or thereabouts, I understand. Many wooden buildings, barrack buildings, hospital buildings, toilet blocks, community buildings, and even a sports field just adjacent to us here. We're very lucky that there is one particular area of that camp which has not been developed on. Most of Raikeswood has been developed by housing estates that are behind me. This particular field hasn't. It's presently under the ownership of North Yorkshire County Council, and they've allowed us, along with the tenant owner, access onto the field to do some exploratory work. These are test pits to investigate whether in fact there's any evidence of the camp lying buried beneath the ground. Before we started with the test pitting, we did some geophysical survey on the site, and we had both magnetometer and resistance meter survey done of the site, and the students helping out on that survey were drawn from 4 of the local high schools. And our third site is being dictated by metal detecting artefact distribution. So right now with a team out there metal detecting the site, students are busy doing that, trying to identify clusters that will be worthy of putting a trench over. So there will be 3 trenches excavated over the next few days. It's keyhole surgery really in terms of archaeological excavation because they're modest sized test pits, but we should be able to find some evidence. Already we're getting artefacts out of those holes, and I know that the metal detecting process which is ongoing across the site is also yielding some good stuff as well.
So Janice, you're a community archaeologist like Kevin, is that right?
Yes, I work at the moment with a group in Nidderdale, and I do quite a lot in schools. I work with Upper Wharfedale School and their big dig, an annual big dig that they run in the summer.
So here I understand you've been keeping the site diary.
Yes.
What does that entail exactly?
Well, it's everything that happens on the site. Every time a turf is dug, an extension is made, an artefact is found, it should all go in the diary, and then that's used to create the final report at the end of the project.
So Tilly, one of your very exciting jobs this week has been cataloguing all the finds. Do you want to just take us through how you actually do that?
Okay, so we're mostly out in the field and we need to catalogue every single find, so every little bit of pottery and nail. We write information on the sheet and then we need to bag it. So we write the vital information on the bag, and then it goes to Phil to be processed in the next process, which I haven't done this week. But it's exciting because you get to see and know every single find, so you describe them, and it's not like the digging archaeology, but it's the part that you need to do, so it's good to learn.
So obviously there's lots of different schools have collaborated on this project, which is brilliant. So you've obviously all made lots of new friends from lots of different schools. Do you think you'll sort of stay in contact and stay friends with those people?
Yeah. We've already got our Snapchats and Instagram, so we can contact each other, saying, "Are you coming to the dig?" or something. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and it's a connection that is it won't, doesn't. stay friends for like ever until
Yeah.
we like go to the next dig, so it's quite good, yeah. And with the help of social media, we can like
Stay in contact.
stay in contact.
So, do you know when the next dig is?
They're hoping to do one in October,
Yeah.
in the October half term.
To
Okay.
continue this one, because they're covering up this trench today, but they're thinking they're going to leave the 3 at the bottom of the field
Right.
for coming back in October
Oh, right,
to do
okay.
some more digging, because we haven't really had enough time here to be able to do everything that we wanted to do.
This is a horseshoe. It's not been definitively dated. Horseshoes pretty much have looked like this forever, so not massively useful, but anything being brought into the camp would probably been carried on a horse, so, or a horse-drawn cart, so horses would have been all over the place. All metal objects, that's not a horseshoe, as somebody thought. It was dug up by a member of the public yesterday. They came in and we let people have a little bit of a bez on the metal detectors, and a little boy was very excited to find that, and he thought it was a horseshoe, but it's a heel protector off a boot. Very excited about this. It was a possibility that that might be a shell from some kind of ordnance, but on closer examination it's got a screw through the middle and some burnt material, implying that it was probably the end of a pole at some point, maybe a flagpole or a tent pole or some kind of ranging pole for something, who knows, but probably not munitions. We know that this site, after being used as a training camp by the British Army, was later used as a camp to hold German prisoners, officers, captured towards the end of the war, and we found some evidence of their presence here. So this, can you see that?
Yeah.
That is a German Army pattern belt hook. It goes on the back of the tunic, the Waffenrock as it's called. It's made of brass, has the Iron Eagle of the Iron Crown of Prussia on there. So that's definitely a German item. Quite nice. It's in good nick. Came out of the ground on day 1. So we've definitely got German officers here. And finally, our star find, saving the best till last. We think this is rather nice. That's a signal whistle, German Army pattern signal whistle. The British pattern's quite different. Looks like an old police whistle. This was kept on a lanyard in the officer's pocket and would have given short orders in the field. So the order to go over the top, for example, would have been a blast on the whistle. And it could be that the blast on this whistle was what brought the owner of the whistle to Skipton. So bit of justice there. So that's it. That's the obviously we found quite a lot of other finds, but they're the sort of the highlights. That's what gives us a feel for the site and what's going on here. But, we haven't found any structures as yet, so it's all in the small finds. So,
Brilliant.
In terms of summing up, we've had 5 fantastic days with 15 children about every day coming. Students have been really supportive of the whole project. Yesterday was absolutely amazing. The weather wasn't, but the turnout for the public event, which was inviting the public around to see what we were doing, went absolutely amazing. We had nearly 200 people.
Yeah, that's it.
We're delighted by it. The feedback was fantastic. The links that they provided with other things for us to chase were just as good as well. It really worked on those grounds. This morning we've been invited out by the community to find a wedding ring, which we sadly
couldn't find. Yeah.
No, but we've also been invited into neighbouring gardens to see if we can find anything in neighbouring gardens as well. So the word is certainly spreading. It really is having a snowball effect, isn't it, John?
And from the school's point of view, I'm absolutely delighted that the 4 schools, the kids from all 4 schools, are like best of friends now. See, they're all sat together, eating together. They've had a fantastic time, and it's really good, and it strengthens the bonds of the schools, Skipton schools, for the future, and we're going to sort of continue those links very strongly in the future. So I'm really pleased from that point of view.
So all in all, a very successful link.
Absolutely. And from the archaeology point of view, we've got things to be working on, ideas to follow up. We've not found any mega evidence of the buildings that were sighted here. The structural remains still remain a little bit elusive for us. It's not to say we won't tie it down in the future, but I'm thinking mainly of the artefacts that have come up, both from the excavations and from the metal detecting. Numerous finds, many of which are connected to World War I and the life of the camp as it existed. It's just what we were after, really, and it starts to build a picture up of what was going on here, you know, and the people that were here. So it's done its job, but there's a lot more to do, and I'd love to think that we can carry on looking at it.
So definitely, we'll look forward to this half term. I'm sure we can get something sorted.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.